Good morning. So I'm Dan, and throughout the week I've kind of prayed about what to talk about, and in a dream, it was the weirdest dream I've had ever. Saturday night, I felt I needed to talk about you need to believe to see, not see to believe. So for most of my life I've been in church. I was always brought up in church, but I never kind of believed until probably about 3 or 4 years ago, or fully believed. So I had the idea that God loves us. I believed in God. And it got to the point where I came to church and it was a normal thing. But it wasn't until about 3 or 4 years ago when I went to Soul Survivor, which is a youth camp, that I went and fully believed that actually God loves us. He's here to help us. And seeing people saved and people being healed was amazing. And that was the point really where it became, you need to believe to see, not see to believe. And what I mean by that is that if you believe that God can do something, you can see it happen. But if you see something happen and then believe, maybe the wrong things are in place. Maybe you need to put your trust and faith in God. And it's become apparent recently, really, that you've got nothing to lose if you do believe. The worst that can happen is nothing happens. So through believing, I've kind of got to the point where I say, give everything to God. Whatever happens, happens. God's in control. And recently, that's been brilliant. Through exams, you come to sit down and pray, and you get that warm feeling inside that there's content. So because of that, I'm very at peace now, and because of that, church and being with God has become a whole lot more enjoyable. So before, I used to think coming to church is reading the Bible. You sing 3 songs and then you go home and that's it. You live the rest of your week and then you come to church on a Sunday. When in fact it's a whole lot more than that and a whole lot more enjoyable. Mostly I didn't realise what was out there. So in terms of music, so there's people who love God just as much as all of us. And they express it through music or they express it through preaching. And through looking at how people love God and how people express God and all the love that coming to a church like this has, it's really opened my eyes to God's love. So even for instance, walking through the door and feeling welcomed, feeling like you're at home in this church. Like, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, you come in the church and feel maybe not as welcome, but some days I sit over there and feel like this is home. You look around and everyone's speaking, everyone's loving each other, everyone's finding out about each other's lives, and that's what really makes this church special. And that kind of pushes God's love and what God can do for people. And that's really my testimony, how God's worked for me. He's shown me that church and life with God is exciting. It's not something that's often seen as boring. It's boring if you can make it boring, but if you want to live with God and want to make it fun, then that's possible.